Hello folks, in this little video I'm going to complete exercise 1 that I handed out last week. I'm going to do it fairly quickly, but don't worry, I'm going to explain it in more detail at the beginning of class this Thursday. This video is to give you sort of a quick overview of how to complete the exercise. Now, number 1, make sure you have the exercise handy. You'll see that I downloaded it and I have it available on my desktop. The reason I want it available is so I can do some cut and pasting. I'm just going to minimize the window. Number 2, we want to make sure to start EasyPHP. So I'm going to start up EasyPHP, and we'll wait a second and we'll make sure it's on. The fact that it says stop tells us that it's properly started. So that's good. We have EasyPHP going, and we have the exercise available. The next thing we need to do is start up our IDE, which is NetBeans. The thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a new project, and the project is going to consist of 2 things, an HTML page and a PHP page. So here we go. I'm going to click on the new project icon. We're going to make a simple PHP application. Click next. We're going to name it login. We want to make sure that the source or the files are somewhere that EasyPHP can see it. So what we're going to do is browse. We're going to make sure we're in the EasyPHP directory, in data, and in local web. So, I'm going to choose open. So we want to make sure we're in program files, EasyPHP, data, local web. At the end of this directory, I'm going to add the login. That's the directory that I want to store this project in. Click next. We want to make sure that we're going to run this as from the local server, and we're going to take note of the project URL. Finally, we'll click next, but we won't be choosing a framework, and we'll click finish. So, NetBeans is now creating the project for us. As you'll recall from class, anytime we create a PHP project, the default page is a PHP page. In this project, I'm going to make an HTML page as my starting point. So, instead of an index.php, I want an index.html. So, I'm going to start by deleting this PHP page. I'm then going to click on the new file icon. I'm going to go to Other and choose HTML. I'm going to name this page Index. And notice it's stored in the login project. Now, I have to make sure to tell NetBeans that this is now our home page, not the PHP page. So I'm going to go into the project properties. So I'm going to right-click on the project, go to Properties. I'm then going to go to the Run configuration, and I'm going to say the index file is not index.php. It's index.html. Now, the only thing that needs to change in this little HTML file is the content of the body. So, I'm going to remove the body, and I'm going to go back to our exercise. And I'll just copy the content of the body. So I'm going to copy that, which happens to be the form. Then I'm going to go back to NetBeans. And I'm going to paste. You'll notice after I paste, the indentation is a little bit messed up. So I'm going to select the form. NetBeans has a nice little tool that will indent automatically. So select the text and then press Alt, Shift, and F, and that will re-indent the code. So I now have a form which is going to link to login.php. It's got two form elements, a text and a password, and it also has a button. I can now test this page, so I'm going to click run. It'll take a second to start the browser. And there we go, I have my web page. Now, if I click login, you'll see that I get an object not found of 404. That's because I didn't make login.php yet, so let's do that. So, I'm going to go back to the new file. This time, I'm going to choose a PHP page. We're going to call it simply login. Click finish. Now, as I said in class, it's good to do this in steps. So the first thing I'll do is I'll do a simple echo. Echo, this is login.php. So, if everything works, I should see this little page. So let's try it out. Click run. If I click login, I see this is login.php, so I know I'm making it to the script. Very good. Now, the next thing, I'm going to close the browser. The next thing I like to do is to make sure I'm getting the inputs. So, I'm going to do the print R. Print underscore argument. And I'm going to print the post array. Notice I'm using or I'm allowing NetBeans to help me out. Now, if you recall, it's good to put in the pre-formatting tags so that the array comes out nicely formatted. So, I'm now printing the contents of the post array. The purpose of this is to verify that we're getting the right data. So I'm going to run it again. I'm just going to type in here user, and I'm going to type in pass, and click login. You'll notice that the post array contains two keys, the username key and the password key, with the value user and the value pass. That looks good. Let's get rid of it. So far so good. Let's close down the browser and start writing some code. So I'm essentially going to start again. Question mark PHP. The first thing I want to do is capture the possible errors. Now, there's three possible errors that could happen here. The username is blank, the password is blank, or the username and password combination are not valid. So, let's try and get the first error. The username is blank, so number one, I'm going to make the error flag. Then I'm going to set the flag to true, meaning at this point there's no errors. So I'm going to make the error message. And I'm going to set it to please fix the following error, and I'll put the S in brackets. And I'll put a couple BRs so that it comes out nice. So we have our error flag, which is false, and we have our error message that we're going to append to. The first possible error is the username could be blank, so that's an if. How do I get the username? Well, it's in the post array under what key? Username. I want to check if that's equal to quote quote. notice I put in two equal signs because that means is it equal to. Now, if it is equal to quote quote, that means it's blank. So I'm going to set the error flag to true because I found an error. I'm also going to append to the error message. So the error message equals the error message append, and I'm going to append what? Username blank. Period. PR. Now, what we're going to do here is set up the next piece of logic. If the error flag is equal to false, that means there's no errors. So let's print out no errors found. Else, what? Else, it means we have some errors. So echo the error message itself. So far all I'm doing is capturing the first possible error. And that's if the username is blank. So let's try it out.